We're back, and today we're going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly in the new Mortal Kombat movie reboot.
Stay tuned. Welcome all you misfits and metalheads. We are back. That's right. I hope you missed us. We weren't away because we wanted to be. Unfortunately, we got sick with COVID. So that just derailed everything that we were doing. We had a bunch of covers that we were trying to get out. We had a bunch of stuff in general we were trying to do, like a bunch of videos, So we're healthy, we're back, we're on the other side of it, and here we go again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check our music out here on YouTube, on Spotify. You can purchase it all over the interwebs. Help a band out. Now today, what are we reviewing, Rose?
Well, we are reviewing the new, just came out, Mortal Kombat film.
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat! Yes, so that one. That fame. Mortal Kombat is near and dear to us both. Mm-hmm. It was one of my very favorite arcade games as a kid. I didn't have it at home because it was too violent, so I had to play it at the arcade.
Quite possibly the very best video game adaptation back in the day, because it was very hit or miss, and there were a lot of misses back in the day. There were a lot of misses when they tried to port stuff, like regardless of what it was.
It wasn't perfect. Let's just get that right out the door. All the Mortal Kombat films have problems. All of them have issues. I feel like the first one, it was tough because there wasn't as much story in the game originally. It was in the later versions of Mortal Kombat where you got a lot more details about the different characters and how they interacted with. They started putting way more story. If you look at it from the very first one to now, it's a totally different game, And the effects have gotten better, and the kills have gotten crazier, and all of that good stuff.
But let's get back to the movie.
Yes.
What did you think about this movie? Well, first off, this is a spoiler-free. If it was in the trailer, it's fair game. So that's what we're going to be talking about and our impressions of it.
Yeah.
I have to say, I was pretty excited to watch this movie. I've been wanting a Mortal Kombat reboot forever. It's one of the many reboots of movies like Spawn and a couple other ones that I've always wanted. And I'm glad that we finally
it's
got one.
Freaking time.
They even did a web series of Mortal Kombat that
and I gotta say,
it was pretty good.
Yeah, if you go to Machinima's YouTube channel, you will find a fan-based version, a web series of Mortal Kombat. And honestly, out of all of the different media that have tried to do Mortal Kombat, I really believe that they accomplished something that is the most true to the actual game.
Their story to drive through everything and their execution, it was way better than I would expect for a web series.
So if you guys want to see a super faithful one, that's where you'll find one that's actually... If you need more Mortal Kombat, then go and check that out. Who doesn't need more Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, right? Especially if you have seen this movie, please let us know your thoughts. If you haven't...
And try not to post any spoilers when you share those thoughts, guys.
So I was super excited to see this on the big screen once again. Big fan. I absolutely love the costuming in this movie.
Yes.
The way they brought these characters to life, you didn't have to question who is who. It was just like, oh, wow, yeah, that looks good. Or if you saw somebody before, like in the trailer, they show Jax, and, we all know what happens to Jax. This one, I think they were calling him Young Steve Harvey online.
Because he's got the new stash going on. Yeah.
But just seeing him before, as a normal human before stuff happens, I'm just like, oh no.
You're like, ooh.
You know, he walks on with
Yeah.
his regular arms, and I'm just like, oh no,
Yeah.
Jax, poor Jax.
Yeah.
You gotta go through
And
it again.
that scene is
bro.
exactly as brutal as you expect it to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, as you've probably seen in the trailer, because they do show that. Granted, they don't cut away in the movie. It's like, Sub-Zero is the man. I love Sub-Zero in this movie so much because of how they show his mastery of his powers.
It's true. Yeah, it was super well done. I feel like, actually, I want to say right out the bat, one of the best things about this movie is that the fights are all great. They
It's great
chose
fight
that
choreography.
you're not gonna
Yeah.
recognize most of these actors, and the reason why is that most of these actors are actually, like, they're like new, and they have immense martial arts skills. Especially Sub-Zero is a very, very highly regarded martial artist. If you check out like the making
Yeah,
of
they
or
have some
whatever,
behind the scenes.
they have some behind the scenes stuff on HBO Max, which is where we saw it, and they go into detail about how he's like a huge martial arts champion and stuff like that, and that's why all of his scenes are his
Yeah, it shows.
fluidity of
It
movement.
shows.
His fluidity of movement
Man,
is just insane.
When Sub-Zero comes out,
Yeah,
it's like, whoa,
it's-
he's just on another level.
Yeah, he really is.
You know how like some certain characters in there, like Cabal's in there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's like running around and stuff, but Sub-Zero doesn't have the speed, so it's like legitimate, just like, I have so much martial arts training, I dare you. You know?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
and the actor that they cast for Scorpion as well is fantastic. You'll recognize him. He's one of the few characters in there that you're gonna immediately recognize. He's been in a lot of films, and he's really, really talented as well. And he did a great job. The bad. Well,
Oh, we didn't finish with all the good. I'm sorry. So besides the costuming, I think everybody looked really well. They were cast really well.
Yes.
Especially Liu Kang.
Ooh,
Oh my
Liu
god.
Kang looks
Liu
like
Kang,
spitting
when he did the
image.
thing with the arms, he was
Ooh.
like, I'm like, oh my god, that is so
yeah,
Liu Kang.
his musculature,
Oh man.
his like everything about
The
Liu Kang
casting
is like
for these characters, as
Ooh.
well as the costuming,
Yeah.
as well as the fight choreography, and how well everybody was able to move. Because yes, there may have been some stunt doubles, but a lot of these people, you could just tell they could move.
yeah.
The music behind a lot of what was going on,
The score was good.
was fantastic.
Yeah, it's what you would expect.
So get on to what some of the things that you did not enjoy about it.
Some of the things that you're not gonna like, they introduce a brand new character in the film.
I did find that a little odd.
And it's strange because that character gets a lot of screen
That
time.
character's kind of the focus, and
Yeah.
it's a brand new character to the Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah, and they do tie him into other characters, but it's still a brand new character. So
Well, it wasn't an accident this happened.
yeah, so it's not unusual for them to toss
No,
in a new
it's not
character,
unusual to
but
toss-
it's weird to make that character
The main focus of, like,
and it is
stuff, you know?
distracting.
It was-
I feel to the enjoyment of the film because
The whole time I was like, but who is this guy?
Yeah.
Who is he gonna be once he gets like some abilities?
Yeah.
The whole time I'm just like scratching my head like, huh? But who is this guy? And he didn't do a bad job.
No, and
It
he's
was
a great
just-
fighter.
yeah.
He is a really good fighter, and I'm sure that's why they chose that particular actor. Some
It's
of
not
you
bad,
are gonna
you know?
some of you are gonna like this new character, and some of you are gonna really dislike this new character. But I'm just
I mean, I don't think there's any reason to dislike him. I just, wasn't expecting it to follow his path more so than some other.
Yeah, if you want to see some insane fights and fatalities, you're gonna
yeah.
get those. You're gonna
Can
get
we
those
talk
things.
about the fatalities?
fatalities are
Because they
good.
actually do show a little bit of some of the fatalities that happen in some of these trailers.
Yes.
Wow. They just popping fatalities out. It's like, you're just done. That's it. That's a wrap. Fatality. What?
Yeah.
Oh, man. To see that on a big screen, and some of them didn't even have a big setup. It's just like, and fatality. Like, whoa, what?
Yep.
What?
Yep. And the
Wow.
sets are really, really cool. Very well designed. All of the moments when people come into a fight of some sort really do feel like a stage in Mortal Kombat, which is exactly what it should be like. And you get those great moments that you really want. the plus of this versus the first one is that this took the story much more seriously. There was a certain amount of campiness in the first one and like jokiness, you know what I mean?
That'll come back when certain characters come back.
But this one was just like, it was much more gritty and real, and the fights were just totally brutal.
Yeah, it was
like
straight fight for your life.
Every single fight is just like a nasty fight.
You have to pay attention because they're literally killing these guys off because Mortal Kombat, you know, so like the fights aren't just meaningless fights because you never know when that's going to happen. Yeah. So you really got to pay attention, and the choreography is so good. You know, I think we got to just rate this sucker.
Let's rate this sucker.
All right, Rose, what are you going to give it?
Oh man, what am I going to give it? You know what? I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. That is what I'm going to give it. Because there are some major story things that upset me, that I thought I was not happy about. However, you know, just based off of the action alone gets a 5. This movie, I'm going to watch it again. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, honestly, I should just give it a 4. Because I'm gonna watch it again.
I'm saying, do you watch 3.5s again?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't watch a 3.5 usually again. I will watch this again because I love Mortal Kombat. I love fatalities, and there are some really, really good ones in this movie. There are some mistakes that they make. They didn't need to make them. You already have the story of the game. You don't need to like make up a new weird story that doesn't make sense.
But they weren't completely following that.
Yeah, I know.
With like we were saying, the introduction of this new character that it kind of follows around. Right there, that's
changes
completely new territory.
Yeah,
so you can't expect everything to be like you thought it was going to be because from the get-go, it's just like, wait, who is this guy? Yeah. As they're introducing him throughout the movie. So he's going to flip the script automatically just by existing, you know? So I'm giving that leeway. I am going to give this, what am I going to give this? I think I'm going to give this a 4.5 chainsaws. Okay. Why? Because I loved the costuming. I loved the casting of it. Everybody, like, they looked exactly how I wanted them to look. I loved the fight choreography. Again, I just think it was amazing.
Fight choreography was great.
You know, there's so much good that the bad doesn't detract from it that much. Just for me personally. Yeah. I just wanted to see an awesome nostalgic fighter, and it was vicious and brutal more than I expected. And
yeah, I think it was definitely,
it was a pleasant surprise.
Of all of the Mortal Kombat films, this film was the most brutal and realistic and just violent. It was just utterly violent.
How early on in the Mortal Kombat games, they didn't necessarily all have weapons that they could fight with, right? And later on in the game, that started slowly getting introduced, where Sub-Zero had like a nice sword, or so-and-so had, you know, like a little bit later on, everybody that didn't necessarily have a hand-to-hand weapon started getting weapons. And it's like, everybody has those weapons, and like the nicks and scratches start adding up really quick. Yeah.
And the effects of Sub-Zero fighting, you'll see in the trailer, they have such amazing moments of just like, you know, punch and then ice chips falling off of it, you know, and just an insane scene where he...
Yeah, it was like he was fighting to like freezer burn you sometimes, which I thought was really interesting to think really that far into his moveset. Like, he has ice.
He has totally mastered his power.
Guess what? Freezer burn's a thing too, you know, and then it's like scrape, freezer burn. Just different things they did.
It was really cool.
With it, one time he like uses his powers and you see his hand bleeding and it's like that freezer burn hit. I'm like, what? That's it, the level of thought that went into some of the abilities and how it could affect people. You know, that's why...
and there's a scene where he like freaking gouges... No, it's in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
He gouges this dude, turns the blood into like a freaking knife, a blood knife,
in the trailer?
freezes it, and then freaking stabs him with his own
blood
knife.
He's fighting Scorpion.
Then he froze.
Him up. I'm like, are you kidding me? So this movie is not perfect, of course.
It's not perfect.
You know, most things aren't perfect, but it does so much so well for me personally. I'm going to definitely watch this again.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I enjoyed it very much. Nothing in it let me down enough where I'm like, this is trash. You know, like, I was just a little kid in the candy shop watching one of my favorite nostalgic video games come to life in a very good way. So that's why I give it a 4.5. Definitely gonna watch it again. It's just a fun movie.
You know, so as long as you don't get too upset about the changes to the story, you can enjoy this movie. But if you're expecting if you're expecting to finally get that movie that's exactly the game story, you're not going to get that out of this.
There's a couple of nitpicky things
there are definitely story things that I have problems with, but I don't want to get into that because I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
And I have a couple of nitpicky things also, but you know, that might spoil some stuff as well. And again, it wasn't enough to overshadow the other stuff that I really enjoyed about it.
So there you have it. Thank you guys for joining us. We're really happy to be healthy and be back. Please check out our videos. Leave us a comment. Let us know that you're watching and cheer us on. It really means the world to us to know that the things that we create are things that you enjoy.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our music feeds. We're healthy and we're finally going to be starting to work on stuff again. So we'll hopefully see you a lot more in the near future. That's all for us today. We are out.